Today we are discussing the general principles of management. First, we will take this the definition of management, management functions, managerial skills, the order of management, efficiency and effectiveness, then the general principles of management, the management as an essential for any organization, and there are some examples for the management. First, we take the definition of management. Management is the process of designing and maintaining an environment in which individuals working together in groups efficiently accomplish selected aims. And the management is the process of getting things done through and with the people in the organization. There are several functions of management, and this is also known as the process of management. There are the five type of functions is management. They are the planning, second one is the organizing, third one is the staffing, fourth one is the leading, and fifth one is the controlling. In the short, there are more functions. They are the post-CARB functions, POSDCORB, P for planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, and R for recruiting, D for directing, B for budgeting. So they are the more functions of management, but these five functions are the important functions. There are so many managerial skills, like the conceptual skills, technical skills, and human relation skills. Conceptual skills are required for the top level of management, and technical skills required by the middle level management, and the human relation skills should be more required by the supervisory level management. However, all type of skills are required by all level of management, but their ratio are more or less. There are, you can see on the slide that the different managerial levels. The top management, there should be more conceptual skills, and the middle level management, there should be more human relation skills, and there is a supervisory level, there are more technical skills. So there is an order of management, top management, middle management, with the frontline managers, operators, or executive. We should know about this efficiency and effectiveness. Efficiency is a performing the best possible manner with the least waste of time and effort. Effectiveness is an educate to accomplish a purpose, producing the expected result. So efficiency is doing something with the least possible expenditure of resources, such as the time and energy. So these efficiency is also the ratio of output to input. There are the general principles of management given by the Henry Fayol. Henry Fayol has given the 14 principles of management. First is the division of work. Second one is the authority and responsibility. Third is the discipline. Fourth is the unity of command. Fifth is the unity of direction. Sixth is the subordination of individual to general interest. 7 is the remuneration and methods. 8 is the centralization. 9 is the scalar chain. And 10 is the order. And then is the equity. Then the stability of tenure. Then the initiative. Then the esprit de corps. So these are the principles given by the Henry Fayol. Now we will take this the more elaboration of Henry Fayol's of management. Henry Fayol, 14 principles of management. First, with the division of work. Work should be divided work should be divided, and work should be divided according to the among individuals and groups to ensure that effort and attention are focused and on a special portion of the task. Fayol presented work specialization as the best way to use the human resources of the organization. Now, second point is the authority. The concepts of authority and responsibility are closely related. Authority was defined by Fayol as the right to give orders and the power to exact obedience. Responsibility involves being accountable and is therefore naturally associated with the authority. Whoever assumes authority also assumes responsibility. And the third point is the discipline. A successful organization requires the common effort of the workers. Penalties should be applied judiciously to encourage these common effort. Fourth is the unity of command. Workers should receive orders from only one manager. Then come to the unity of direction. The entire organization should be moving towards a common objective. Then the subordination of individual interests to the general interest. The interest of one person should not take priority over the interest of the organization as a whole. So we should think about the welfare of the organization, not welfare of the single employee. So next one is the remuneration. Many variables such as cost of living, supply of qualified personnel, general business condition, and success of the business should be considered in determining a worker's rate of pay. Now, eighth point is the centralization. Fayol defined centralization as the lowering the importance of the subordinate role. Thus, decentralization is increasing the importance. The degree to which centralization or decentralization should be adopted depends on the specific organization in which the manager is working. Ninth is the scalar chain. Managers in hierarchies are part of a chain like authority scale. Each manager from the first line supervisor to the president possesses certain amounts of the authority. The president possesses the most authority. The first line supervisor the least. The lower level managers should always keep upper level manager informed of their work activities. The existence of a scalar chain and adherence to it are necessary if the organization is to be successful. 10th is the order. For the sake of efficiency and coordination, all materials and people related to a specific kind of work should be treated as equally as possible. 11th point is the equity. All employees should be treated as equally as possible. And 12th point is the stability of tenure of the personnel. Retaining productive employees should always be a high priority of the management. Recruitment and selection costs, as well as increased product reject rates are usually associated with hiring new workers. Hiring new 13-point initiative. Management should take steps to encourage worker initiative, which is defined as new or additional work activity undertaken through self-direction. And 14 point is the esprit de corps. Management should encourage the harmony and general good feelings among the employees. So these are the 14 principles of management, which is important. So there are the other important points of the management, like will take, will come into the point. This point is manage. There are several managerial functions. Management can be applied to any kind of organization, and management can be applied to all levels. And according to the Mintzberg, there are the several roles of the managers. There are the informational roles, and the informational roles and informational roles and management as an essential for an organization. Managers are charged with the responsibility of taking actions that will enable individuals to make their contributions to group objectives. Management is applied to small organizations, to profit and not-for-profit enterprises, to manufacturers, as well as industries. So this management carry out their managerial function. It can apply to any kind of organization. It applies to managers at all organization levels. Its aim is to create surplus. It is concerned with the productivity, implies effectiveness and efficiency. The 4M of the management is the man, machine, material, and money. There are the several characteristics of management. Management is universal. Management is dynamic. Management is group of manager. Management is purposeful. Management is goal-oriented. Management is integrative function. Management is social process. Management is multifaceted discipline. Management is a continuous process. Management is a system of authority. Management is resource. Management is intangible. Management is profession as well as art as a science. There is a difference between administration versus management. The major difference between administration is the management. There is the determination of objectives and policies, and in the management there is implementation of policies. In the administration there is a legislative and determination function, and in the management there is a executive function. In the administration there is a planning, organizing, staffing, and there is a management directing, motivating, coordinating, and controlling. As a position, it acts as a principal, and in the management, it acts as an agency. And as a knowledge term, it requires more administration ability than technical ability. And in the management, it requires more technical ability than administrative ability. Then the management as an art, since the main elements of an art are the personal skills, practical know-how, application of knowledge, result orientation, creativity, constant practice, aimed at perfection. So the management is known as an art, since the management seeks to achieve concrete practical results. So it should be also considered as a science. The science as science is a systemized body of knowledge, and it depends upon the universal truth and the applicability. Since the management is a social science, it contains all essentials of science. It is an inexact science. Some of the methods are the PERT, CPM, cost, finance, MBO. So the management as a profession, the essential attribute of a profession, a well-defined and organized body of knowledge, and the leading learning and experience, entry restricted by qualification, recognizing national body, ethical code of conduct, dominance of service motive. So management is not a fully fledged profession, not due to the following shortcomings. Skills are not fully developed, no uniform method of entry, ethical code is not fixed. There are so many managerial skills, conceptual skills, human skills, technical skills, design skills. There is a need for management. How there is a need of management to increase efficiency, to crystallize the nature of management job, to improve research in management, to attain social goals. There are 3 levels of management: top level management, board of directors, MD, owners, chief executive. And the second, the middle level management, sales executive, production executive, production executive related to the sales and marketing. Third one is the supervisory, operating and lower level of management. Under this, the superintendents, branch managers, and general foremen come. And their work are to plan day-to-day production within the goals laid down by higher authority. What is the role of the manager? The role of the manager is given by the Mentzberg. First role is the interpersonal role, interacting with the people inside and outside the organization. Under the interpersonal role, there is the figurehead role as a symbolic head of an organization. The second one is the leader role. Third one is the liaison role. The second important role is the informational role, serving as a focal point for exchange of information, like to monitor. Monitor means it seeks and receives information concerning internal and external events so as to gain understanding of the organization and its environment. And the disseminator role transmits information to subordinates, peers, and superiors within the organization. Third is the spokesperson, speaking on behalf of the organization and transmitting information on organization plans, policies, and actions to the outsiders. Third one is the decision roles, is the makes important decisions. First is the entrepreneurial, initiating changes or improvements in the activities of the organization. The disturbance handler role, it takes taking charge, corrective action when organization faces unexpected crisis. Then the resource allocator role, distributing organization resources like money, time, equipment, and labor. The fourth one is the negotiator role, representing the organization in bargaining and negotiations with outsiders and insiders. So we should also know this importance of management. The management is the dynamic life giving element in every business. Without is the resources of production remove resources and never become production. So the sound management provides the following benefits: the achievement of group goals. Second one is the optimum utilization of resources. Third one is the fulfillment of the social obligation. Fourth one is the economic growth. Fifth is the stability. Six is the human development. And seven is the meets the challenge of change. So there are so many classification of managerial functions: planning, and there is a sub-function: forecasting, decision making, strategy formulation, policy making, programming, scheduling, budgeting, problem solving, innovation, investigation, and research. And there is a organizing, grouping of functions, departmentation, delegation, decentralization, activity analysis, task allocation, staffing. Under the head is staffing, manpower planning, job analysis, recruitment, selection, training, placement, compensation, promotion, appraisal. In the supervision, in the directing, there is a supervision, direction, motivation, communication, and leadership. And last is the controlling, the fixation of standard, recording, measurement, reporting corrective actions. So now we should know the evolution of management. As the father of management is known as the Henry Fayol, and Henry Fayol has given the 14 principles of management, which I have already given on the earlier slides. The first, the division of work. Second is the authority and responsibility. Third is the discipline. Fourth is the unity of command. Fifth is the unity of direction. Sixth is the subordination of individual interest to the general interest. Seven is the remuneration of personnel. Eighth is the centralization. Ninth is the scalar change. 10th is the order. 11 is the equity. 12 is the stability of tenure of personnel. 13 is the initiative. 14 is the spirit de corps. So there are some critical things like of this Henry Fayol's of management. It's too formal, it's weakness, and however, it makes an outstanding contribution to the management theory. But another theory given by the scientific management by F.W. Taylor during the 1856 to 1915. It is the art of knowing exactly what you meant to do and see that they do it in the best and cheapest way. Best and the cheapest way. The management is a science based upon certain clearly defined principles. So there are some principles of scientific management. Science, rule of thumb. It is a harmony, not discord. It is a cooperation, not individualism. It is a maximum output in place of restricted output. It's a development of each individual to his great efficiency and prosperity. And now it comes to the mental revolution. So workers and management work went towards their work and their following towards their employee. Mental attitude of the two parties. Then we come to the techniques of scientific management. There are so many techniques of scientific management: time study, motion study, scientific task planning, standardization and simplification, differential piece rate system, functional foremanship. According to Taylor, one supervisor cannot be an expert in all aspects of work supervision. In system of functional foremanship, in which 8 supervisors supervise a worker's job, like there's a route clerk, then second instruction card clerk, then third is a time and cost clerk, fourth is a SOAP disciplinarian, fifth is the gang boss, sixth is the speed boss, seventh is the repair boss, eighth is the inspector. Now, there is some critical things of the scientific management. It has a mechanistic approach. It is unrealistic assumptions. It is a narrow view. It's impractical. It is exploitation of labor. So then, according to the journal, Elton Mayo, which has given his theory based upon the Hawthorne experiments. This is some experiments he has done, and it is a behavioral theory, illumination experiments, relay assembly test room experiments, and mass interviewing program. In these experiments, he explained about how the behavior of the employee changes. So what are the outcomes of this theory? The workers working in a group develop bond of relationships. And second, the behavior at a workplace depends on their mental state, emotions, and prejudice. And third is the emotional factors play an important role in determining. Fourth is the human and liberal attitude of the supervisor held in improving performance. Managerial skills and technical skills are not necessary to be a successful leader. So there is another theory given by the Henry Lawrence Grant during the 1861 to 1919. It is widely known as the Gantt chart, used for scheduling and controlling of work. The task and bonus plan. The minimum wages is guaranteed to all workers, irrespective of output. Extra wages are paid for extra work. Now, the Frank Bunker Gilbert has given the during 1868 to 1924, the motion study, time history, fatigue study, work simplification, three positional promotional plan, present position, the position to be held before promotion to his present position, next higher position. There are the several approaches to the management. Modern management has developed through several stages or approaches. These approaches to the study of the management may be classified as under like the first is the classical approach, second is the behavioral approach, third is the management sciences approach, fourth is the system approach, and fifth is the contingency approach. Now we can see in the figure that there are the inputs in terms of the money, manpower, machinery, material, and method. And there are the outputs, goods and services, and employment, tax, and others. And it has been affected by these external environment. However, this is a natural environment, technological environment, social environment, and all type of environment affected this transformation process. However, the feedback is necessary to know about the exact things. So system approach is an improvement over classical and neoclassical theories and is as it closer to reality. The traditional theorist viewed organization as a closed system, while modern theories treat it as an open system. The system approach highlights the multidimensional and multidisciplinary nature of management. It takes much wider and overall perspective of organizational functioning. Now we will come to the social responsibility and ethics. The ability of the private corporation to relate its operations and policies to the social environment in ways that are mutually beneficial to the company and the society. First is reaction or proaction. Second is the role of government. Third is the influence of the values and performance. And fourth is the criteria and behavior. Then, according to the Peter Decker, the social responsibility requires managers to consider whether their ability is to promote the public good or to advance the basic beliefs of our society, like to contribute to stability, strength, and harmony. Nowadays, the social audit is also an important term. It's a commitment to the systematic assessment of the reporting and on some meaningful, definable domain companies' activity that have a social impact. Since some of the forces which are prevailing in the business, consumerism, trade union, public opinion, enlightened self-interest, professionalization, pesticides. So we can see in the figure the social responsibility of the business share. It also affected the shareholders, employees, customers, government, community, and others. There are so many ethics in business, in managing. Ethics are good or bad with the moral duty and obligation. Personal ethics has been referred the rules by which an individual lives with his personal life. So business ethics is concerned with the truth and justice and a variety of aspects such as expectation of society, fair competition, advertising, fair public relations, social responsibilities, consumer autonomy, corporate behavior in the home country as well as abroad. So a code is a statement of policies, principles, or rules that guide behavior. The functions of ethics committee includes the holding regular meeting to discuss issues, dealing with the gray areas, communicating the code to the members of the organization, then enforcing the code, rewarding compliance and punishing violations, reviewing and updating the code, and reporting activities of the committee to the board of the directors. Now, the globalization means covering or affecting the whole world. It means integration of the domestic economy of a country with the international economy. Recent developments in information and communication technology have accelerated the pace of globalization. Globalization means the internationalization of trade, particularly product transaction, integrating of economic and capital markets throughout the world. The integration takes place when trade exists freely among the different countries. Thus, the world economy becomes a single market or a single economy. In globalization, there is no restriction of quota, license, tariff, and other administrative barriers for trade. The term globalization has four parameters: reduction of trade barriers, free flow of the capital among nations, free flow of the technology among nations, free movement of labor among different countries of the world. Now, the benefits of globalization: it improves efficiency, it improves factor income, it improves finance, and it gains from migrations. There are several drawbacks of the globalization. Globalization increased the problems of unemployment. It, like the domestic industries, finds difficulty in survival. Only a group of people who participate in the process of globalization will be benefited. This creates income inequality within the country. Control on domestic economy becomes more difficult. Developing country suffers from the problem of brain drain. Now there is a new topic, this international business. It involves commercial activities that cross national frontiers. It consists of exporting, importing, licensing, opening of sales office, the activities necessary for ascertaining the need and want of target consumer often takes place in more than one country. When an entrepreneur executes his or her business model in more than one country, then international business occurring. So there are several procedures by which we go to the international business: the exporting, indirect exporting, and direct exporting. And there are some other arrangements like licensing, turnkey projects, management contracts, and there are other methods: direct finance, foreign investment, minority interest, joint ventures. Now, there is a globalization of India. Some aspects of the policy of globalization is the liberalization of the imports, foreign direct investments, export promotion through rationalization of the tariff structures. Then there's a foreign technology. Then these are the important aspects of this management. One topic, that is the management by objectives. Management by objectives is an important one because it solves all the problems related to the management. And now we will consider the other topics in the next lecture. Okay, thank you. ये एंड कर देंगे, रिकॉर्डिंग हो जाएगी.